Why does the black man serve the white man? Why does everything the black man do benefit the white man? Why does the black man say freedom is doing what I want to do? And why is it that everything he wants to do enriches the European?
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Peace, family. This is your brother, Mr. Holipsism. Haven't done any videos in a while, and this video will sort of explain why. I'm speaking to the writers and the artists out there. Do you ever get the sense sometimes that you said everything that you need to say and that you have absolutely nothing to say? I've been feeling that for quite some time. I mean, I initially stopped my blog talk radio show, Holipsism's Haven, because I just didn't have the time because of the schedule change in my job. But it seems like for me, it was becoming repetitive and redundant. And this video kind of addresses where I'm at mentally when it comes to dealing with the socioeconomic and political ills that affect us as black African people, not only in this country, but in this world. And a conclusion that I've come to in terms of just me personally is that I'm just at the point mentally and spiritually and however else you want to put it, where I can't grind my wheels anymore. There isn't any new information coming out, like in terms of where we need to be mentally, culturally, and all that other stuff. There isn't really any new information out. Nobody's doing anything really groundbreaking as if they need to be doing anything groundbreaking. I think that the only thing or the only conclusion that I've come to, and I think the only solution to the problem, is land, infrastructure, and nationhood. It's my personal opinion that if we don't establish a place that we control, that we control from top to bottom, socially, economically, and politically, where we control the infrastructure, where we control the airports, where we control the seaports, where we control the roads and highways, where we control the electricity and the gas and the power, the tidal, the solar, the geothermal, the wind, all of that stuff. If we don't control that from top to bottom, and then after we establish it, start developing our satellite communities in all the other places outside of Africa, like America, Brazil, the UK, Australia, Switzerland, New Zealand, Norway, wherever it is that black African people are, then basically what we're doing is trying to throw Band-Aids on a systemic problem. And it's just an incredible waste of time to me. When I've played games, no matter what game I've played, I've always played a game to win. I'm not playing a game, just to have fun, just to waste time. I'm playing it to win. It's disrespectful to your opponent if you're not trying to win. Your opponent wants to know that you guys tested skills and that their skills were made better by you and you were made better by them, even if you lost. It elevated you from where you were before because you were fighting a worthy opponent. So 'cause there's nothing wrong with competition in that sense. And what I'm tired of is us playing just to be playing. And it seems like we engage in a lot of these social issues that really don't matter or mean anything. And I know a lot of stuff that I'm going to say in this video is going to be not well received and going to be I'm going to get a lot of slack for it and maybe lose some viewers. But I would be disingenuous and really a punk as a man if I didn't talk about certain things that I see going on that just really freaking annoy me, and things that I see going on that is really beneath anybody that's supposed to consider themselves an architect or an engineer or a designer of a system. One thing that really annoys the fuck out of me, and this is as of late, is being overly concerned with what other people do with their life and with their choices. It puts me in a position where I have to defend. It's not so much defending, but it comes across that way. You know what? I'll break it down like this, and I've said this before in many posts. Do you want to know why there's a so-called homosexual agenda? It's really, really like shockingly simple as to why there's a homosexual agenda. And I've been saying this for the longest, and apparently nobody listened to me. So those people are bearing the fruits of their labor. Whenever you declare yourself as an enemy of something, whenever you declare yourself that you're going to be, you're going to be Bill O'Reilly, like, this stops here, it has the reverse effect of what you think it has. What you do is you give people a rallying cry. You give them something to mobilize around. This is happening with the United States in terms of terrorist recruiting. United States is not stopping terrorists from recruiting people against America. They're encouraging and emboldening that process. Why? Because they think that they have this philosophy that, like there's this old saying that I love where it says, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And that's the United States of America. Their tactic and their strategy is to crush and obliterate anything in its path. And they think that that works. What it really does is it pisses people off. And it makes enemies where enemies are not really necessary, or you create unnecessary enemies if you would just simply be cool, or simply mind your fucking business, or simply be a decent human being. So what's happening now is with this whole homosexual revolution, which I've always said, we make the whole lesbian, gay, transsexual, lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender community, LGBT, whatever, I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. We make them out to be more important than they really are. And if we weren't so anal, and excuse the pun, about what other people do with their private parts, and also, this is more important, if we didn't discriminate against them because of that, then there wouldn't be a need for them to fight for any rights. And then the funny part is, when they fight for the rights that you've taken away from them, then you say, oh, they want everybody to approve of homosexuality. No, motherfucker, you so fucking stupid. Had you just let this be a situation, listen, there's a lot of shit that people do that I don't approve of on my personal life. And when I say don't approve of, I mean me personally. I have a real big problem with a man putting on a dress. That disturbs my fucking sensibilities. I got an issue with a dude dressed like a fucking woman. But guess what? I don't dress like a fucking woman. I don't have, I'm not around people that dress like fucking women. That's not in my own personal circle. So that's something that's on the outskirts of my reality. What do I need to go on a campaign against it for? It exists. Whether I like it or whether I don't like it, it exists. So what's the solution to it? There's two. Either I can say, well, you know what? I don't approve of it in my own personal life, but I also don't have nothing to say what people do in their own life. So to each his own, and I just live my life, that person live their life. As long as you don't try to impose your shit on me, everything's fine. Or I can be a fucking psychopath and decide that I'm going to go out on a campaign to do some ethnic cleansing. I'm going to kill every person, every man that I see that wears a dress, I'm going to kill him. And you know what's going to happen? I'm going to be killing motherfuckers for a very long time, because apparently a lot of people like doing that shit. For whatever reason. I don't have to understand it. I know that it exists. So what am I going to do? Am I going to become a savage because I don't like something? Or am I going to leave that shit alone because it has nothing to do with me? What's the calm, reasonable, rational approach to that? You know? But the fact that I'm even discussing this bullshit just tells you where we are consciously. We need land. We need infrastructure. We need nationhood. So we can talk about who's the fault, the black man or the black woman. We can talk about whether homosexuality is natural or unnatural. We can talk about interracial dating, whether you're for or against it. We can talk about all of this stupid shit. Or we can actually dedicate that time and that energy into obtaining land, building infrastructure, which, by the way, would create thousands of jobs, and establishing a nationhood. Because everything else is going to be healed or cured through that process. See, I really can't dedicate my time to attacking individuals living within this social, economic, and political context of the European. Because the bottom line is, what am I going to offer them as an alternative to what they're doing? I can hate what Lil Wayne is doing. I can hate what Nicki Minaj is doing. I can hate what Jay-Z and Beyonce is doing. I can judge and say these people ain't keeping it real, or these people have sold out and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, what do I have as an alternative to the very thing that brought them success and money and stability in their lives? If I can't provide that, then I really don't have nothing to say. And to me, whether it's right or wrong is irrelevant. Because absent a socioeconomic and political infrastructure, and absent a way to provide a support system for the people that live underneath your nation, these people are left out here to fend for themselves, and these people are out here on their own ass. So we can come up with all of these Band-Aid solutions, try to engage in these pointless battles that lead to nowhere, because the black man can rattle off everything that the black woman has done wrong, and he can have validity to it. The black woman can rattle off everything that the black man has done wrong, and she can have validity to it. At the end of the day, what's the solution? The solution is nationhood. The solution is land. The solution is infrastructure. At the end of the day, we keep going around and around and around in circles, and we don't want to address what the real solution to the problem is, because we just love to hear ourselves talk. We love to hear ourselves break shit down. We love to consider ourselves the smartest voice in the room, and we are letting our people die just because we love that shit so much. And me personally, I'm fucking tired of it. Peace.